welcome back to another episode of the gardening that we have here. This is my second year gardening. Last year was my first. It has grown significantly bigger. Anywho, today I'm going to give you a tour of my garden. Let's go! Back to the jungle. Yay! Alright, let me show you guys the jungle. Alright, so if you remember anything from last year, this is pretty much, these are the 3 beds that I had from last year. So 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 raised bed that were longer. These are the 4x8 bed with the trellis on them. So everything else is an addition. So what I did was I moved a bunch of stuff around and added all those pots to the side of the yard. Let's start with the beginning bed. Let's see what I grew on them this year. I try to keep them organized because I met one of my neighbor who was a gardener and she's super organized. She used the square foot method. I try to copy the same, but as you can see, yeah, I kind of veered off. Now it's just a Mod Podge. So you see these little quote unquote weed, they're not weed, they're edible. So in Vietnamese they're called rau yep ga, which is called fish mints. And these fish mints, lesson learned, when you grow them, please grow them in a container because they are weeds. Like literally, I grew them one year in a little corner, like I think it was this corner, one of the corner. And then now look at this year. I mean, look at it. It's everywhere. And I've been pulling them, and there's no getting rid of them. Same thing goes with the mint. Look at that mint right there. I literally grew one little thing on a little corner, and now they're all over. So I think the only one way to get rid of them is to get all the soil out of this bed, and then just try my best to get rid of the mints. But I don't know. But I might just leave it because they're technically edible and low maintenance. So I might just leave it. These are my cilantro who's growing like crazy, and I think she's about to bolt. Yeah, so I might have to harvest these soon as well. These are the sorrel leaves, and I love them to eat with bánh xèo and other Vietnamese cooking stuff that requires wrapping because it has like a slight acidic flavor to it, and I love acid in most of my food. Like, I mean, acid is a sour taste, not, you know, actual acid. Anyways, so those are my cucumbers, and these are the Korean melon. I grew those from seeds. So this is as big as they're gotten so far, so hopefully they continue to grow. This is my persimmon tree right here. They're doing pretty good. I thought it was dead during winter time, but look at it. It's coming out nicely, and I'm seeing flowers. Look at that. Yay. And these are my kohlrabis, and this is the kale that I was talking about. You see how tiny it is compared to the other one? The other one's nice and voluptuous and tall, and this one is like just tiny. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, those are the kohlrabis. And last year I grew spinach here. Not spinach, I grew kale here. And I think this is a kale plant from last year that grew. And this year, some of the addition that I've made are the poles that you're seeing right there that's holding up the tomatoes. I didn't want to buy individual trellis for them. So, because that will cost too much money, because I planted a lot of tomatoes this year. So I decided to do that pole, and then I did the strings to kind of like hold them together, keep them upright. And then what I also did was add a bunch of hanging pots. So you see this trellis right here? This is actually the cattle panel, and I can't recommend it enough. It is so strong. I literally can hang on this thing and swing around and it does nothing. And I grew a lot of stuff in these two beds, so I hope they do well. I fertilize it pretty good. So these are the yard-long bean, or what in Vietnamese we call đậu đũa, which is chopstick beans. Chopstick beans. They're looking a little frail because in the beginning when they were young, I guess I didn't know. I didn't pay that much attention to them. There was a lot of aphids on them. So then I started spraying the aphids. I started treating the aphids. I started to watch it like a hawk to get rid of the aphids, because look at all these ants. So what they're doing is they're farming the aphids pretty much for the sweet juice that the aphid secretes. Ugh. Anyways, yeah, I've been spraying it, and I guess, I don't know, these leaves are all like this, but I guess that's a result of the aphids like sucking the life out of them. So either that or it's because I sprayed them. But yeah, look at all the new leaves. They're all like crinkly looking. Like I wish they looked better, but yeah, I mean all the leaves are like so crinkly looking. So I don't understand why. I just don't understand why. How do I, if you know how to fix this issue, comment down below, because I don't know what to do. I fertilized it, I sprayed it. Hopefully it doesn't die. Hopefully the new growth is gonna be healthier. Yeah. And this is, so I went to the supermarket and I bought a chayote, and then I wrapped it in newspaper and I put it into like a dark place for about 14 days. And then once I see like stuff sprouting out of it, I literally just planned it down in a 45-degree angle with the sprout pointing up, and that's what I've been getting so far. So we'll see. I love chayote. I mean, you can saute them, pickle them, you can even put it in soup, so they're very versatile. So I started planting a lot of them. This is the bitter melon. They're doing pretty good. I actually germinate about 90% of my plants this year via seeds, because last year I bought these bitter melon from the store and I planted them. They didn't do well. So direct sow is a lot healthier, I guess, for my plants. But yeah, look at the strawberry. Oh, I have got to show you guys the fertilizer I use for my strawberries. I mean, in my entire bed. And it contains milk, right? Who would have thought to fertilize your stuff with milk? But yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I do it. But ever since I started doing that, my strawberry has been producing like nice chunky fruits. I love it. My nephew harvests most of them, but yeah, as you can see the size of the last one, that's not bad. Like, I'm so used to like having the puny one. Like, look at this guy. I'm so used to having the puny little one, so this is like amazing for me. Oh, and my marigold, I have got to show you. So instead of the typical marigold, this year I grew these. Look at that. Oh, look at she in her glory. She's so cute. Oh, I love it. I grew a bunch of different varieties as well. So then I have other kinds in here. I don't know which one they are. So the ones that are not blooming yet are something else, like a different variety. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they grow taller and bushier. But those are gorgeous. They grow so low to the ground. And look, they stay so healthy. And look at that. They produce such beautiful flowers. These guys, maybe they have some kind of disease. Like maybe you guys who are like, I don't know, marigold connoisseur can tell me what's going on. Because look at this. Like it just, ugh. It's like all the leaves are crinkly and there's no aphids. At first I was like, oh, maybe the aphids are attacking it. I don't know. Maybe there's a virus that's like attacking these. I hope it doesn't spread to the other ones. Oh, yeah, because look at this. So next to this, let me show you an example. Next to this is my shishito pepper plant that I germinated from seed as well. And she was doing the exact same thing as this. So then I went in, I just clipped the tip off of or wherever the crinkly part was. So hopefully now it's going to grow out healthy again and not weird. I hope not, because that would suck. I want some shishito plants. But yes, this is my tomatoes. You see what I'm talking about? Instead of spending money on like trellis after trellis, put 2 of these stakes up, get some plastic strings, and just tie it, or even cotton strings, whatever. And then also what I did was at the bottom, I trim anything that can touch the garden bed. I trim it all off to prevent any diseases and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, look at her. It's so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I might add more next year for these other ones. Like you can see how this, because I put the trellis on, it looks so neat and organized. And then these part right here, I didn't do anything, so then they look unruly. And you see my squash plant, the leaves are ginormous and they're touching the ground. So I'm waiting for them to get a little bit higher, and I'm just gonna start flipping all the leaves up towards the bottom, so that they'll end up looking like the tomatoes. This is my nectarine tree. She's looking nice and pretty. There was a ton of flowers on here, but I don't think any one of them is producing any fruit. Like a little thing, but she's like deformed looking, so I don't think that nectarine is gonna do anything. But yeah, all the other ones that I thought was gonna form nectarine fruits are all gone because the wind knocked it down. And then here's my valley of Jujube trees. Okay, so I'm gonna explain to you why I have 3 Jujube trees. It's ridiculous. So, okay, this is my journey with Jujube trees. So originally I was gonna buy them and put them in the ground. Then I found out that they were just like my mints. Super invasive. They'll go out and throw out shoots all over the place, and I don't think my neighbor is gonna appreciate that. So I decided to buy these 25-gallon pots and then put them in. So I did that, and I bought a Lee Jujube tree. Then I found out, oh, Lee Jujube trees, they're not that sweet. The honey jars are better. Not honey jar, the sugar canes are better. So then I bought a sugar cane, and then people said that when you plant 2 of them, it's good because they can, help pollinate each other. So I'm like, that's great. And then all of a sudden I go online, and everybody is raving about honey jar and how you need a honey jar. So I'm like, man, I don't want to spend a whole season growing and waste my time and not have a honey jar just in case. So I went out and bought a honey jar. So then that's how you end up with 3 Jujube trees. Don't even know what I'm going to do with them, but hopefully they grow and I can give it to my neighbors. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Oh man, so I got sidetracked. I didn't even show you guys the other 4x8 pot, did I? Oh my goodness. Okay, here you go. So on this side, instead of planting the shishito pepper plant, I grew a whole line of eggplants. These are the Thai eggplants I grew from seeds. So I kind of did the same thing over here. I put all the viney stuff on the left hand side and the tomatoes on the right hand side. Except on this side, I actually grew lettuce during the beginning of the season. But now that the season is over, I don't know, they're starting to bolt on me, so I might take it out. And I'm looking, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the aphids. Look. Can you see it? Let me zoom in. Oh, ew, look at the aphids growing. Oh, I'm gonna yank it out. Oh yeah, she's going. Oh my gosh, they're like taking a hold of my stuff. Oh, look at that. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna spray her after this with neem oil and water just to get rid of them. See that? They love my plants, these aphids. I just think because my plants are healthy, so they just want to suck the life out of them. Ugh, it's so irritating. Anyways, my battles. Oh, here's another one of my prize child. Oh, aloe vera. You do not know my struggle with aloe vera. I was given aloe vera multiple times by other people as a gift. And every single time I get them, they would die. And I think the problem is I take care of my plants too well. I water them, I give them nutrient, all this other stuff, and I just always kill them. So as a word of advice, they told me that when you plant aloe vera, just ignore it. and just ignore it. And that's what I did. And look, she's coming back alive. As you can see, I had to cut all the other growth out because they were just brown and limpy, and it was bad. But look at this. You do not know how much work it took for me to get it this far. And this is my other DIY project that I did last year. I went on Pinterest and I found this like really nifty idea of a plant box. So pretty much I wanted something that I can grow my mint and herbs in. So, you know, previously I showed you how invasive the fish mint and the peppermint was. So I wanted something like this. And also I grew a bunch of herbs last year that took off really well, but it became super bushy. So then my goal was to have this so I can grow the bushy stuff in the buckets, and then the more floor stuff on these little beds here. And they're doing pretty well. I grew kale, all kind of stuff in here. I probably won't grow gardenias again. I don't know, for some weird reason, when you buy it at the box store, they are beautiful. Like, they have these like sprouts right here, as you can see. Like, those buds are beautiful. But when you bring them home, and I fertilize them, and I tried my best, but look at it. They're all like, they're just dropping off. And then when they do bloom, they end up looking like that. So it's like, in the picture they look beautiful, but when you go home, it's just, I don't know. It's just not what I thought it would be. It's so bizarre. Look at that. Wow. I have here my 2 apple tree. I know apple trees aren't supposed to do well in Texas because it's so hot here. So we'll see what happens. I planted them like very close to each other, so hopefully they can help pollinate each other if they ever bloom. I highly doubt they're going to do anything this year because look at them. They're like super straggly. This guy is doing a lot better than that one. So this one is a Golden Delicious, and that is a Honeycrisp. And the Honeycrisp, if you can see, is like still sprouting as we speak, and it's already in, it's about to be May. Actually, today is May. So yeah. There you go. And then this is my eggplant and pepper valley. I have Thai chili, Vietnamese chili, some cobra chilies, Indian chilies, you know, you name it, it's here. And then eggplant, I have Indian eggplants, I have Thai eggplants, who knows what else. So I planted a little bit of everything. And then the little pots in the front, I decided to put curly parsley on there because I like making salads with them. So I just grew a lot of them. So thank you for joining me on this tour of my garden. So I'll continue to update with other information in regards to the progress. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.